everyone, and welcome to the Woman's Cave. And I'm going to do a no-no because Jade is not here. So watch me do this no-no.
I'm so sorry about the puppy.
And our guest today has a puppy. So this no-no is a lovely smoothie, which I'm calling my lunch. It's amazing how when you put ice cream in something, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'll have that.
It's suddenly healthy, right? There's milk in that, right?
Exactly. Oh, it's so good too. I need to stop because I'm going to get fatter than I am because I have the COVID-19 already. Yeah.
Right?
I worked on it. I'm Winona, and I actually remember to introduce myself, so high five to me with smoothie holding in the hand. Yes. Anyway, you're not here to hear about us. You're here to hear about, oh, no, I jumped way ahead. No. Back it up. Books. We wrote books, literary life guides with pop poetry. We have And I Thought Divorce Was Bad, And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy, If Only I Were Me, and Memoir in Verse. I'm trying to think if I missed any of the audiobooks. I'm not sure. I think I got all the audiobooks as the group. So you can find all of those on Audible or on Amazon.com or BarnesandNobles.com. And then we also have The Women's Cave, The Other Pop Poems, which is one of our newest books. Yep, it is our newest book, which actually made it to #1 of Poetry Anthology. You know we don't call our books Poetry Anthology. They're literary life guides with pop poetry. Because, I mean, honestly, if I said, do you want to read a poetry anthology book? You'd probably smack the book out my hand. Who wants to read poetry? But a literary life guide? Why, sure. Why not? Anyway, you can find everything your ladies are doing at www.andwethought.com. For an abbreviated version of that, you can find it at andithoughladies.com. But you're not here to hear anything else about me. Although, you know, I'm probably going to tell a story or two about me during this interview. But for right now, you're here to hear from our wonderful guest. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Lisa Kessler. I write paranormal romances, and I have published a bunch of short stories too, so there's a little horror in there. And I write a lot. Let's see. You wanted 3 things, right? All right.
So you just need one more.
Okay. One more is I'll introduce you to the puppy assistant who is here. She's very famous, Fiona. I post a lot of adventures of the puppy assistant, which is Fiona. And every time I turn on a Zoom, she grabs her squeaky pig and yes, I'm talking about you, and grabs her squeaky pig and starts talking with it. So anyway, I'm hoping she'll be quiet. She's very excited about your interview, though.
I'm sure she's like, wait. Don't write about me. I have to have things to say. Squeaky, squeak,
That's right.
squeak. That's what I have to say.
Exactly. We translate her squeaks depending on her mood.
Oh, that works. Oh, it must be nice to have a dog that talks.
Right? Only not when you're doing Zoom interviews. Then better if it's quiet dog.
So, can you tell us, how did you get started?
Well, I wrote for fun for a long time. Way in the beginning of the internet, there was an Anne Rice news group, and I was part of that. And it took like a year and a half for another Vampire Chronicles novel to come out. So we would all write our own vampires on Yahoo groups. Remember those? And then I went on a work trip to New Orleans, and I got my palm read. And the palm reader at the end of the reading said, "Can I ask you something?" And I said, "Sure." And she said, "Are you a writer?" And I said, "No, I sell window shades." And then I thought about it, and then I said, "Well, I write for fun." And she said, "Oh, you're going to be a famous writer someday." And I was like, "What?" And anyway, I went home, and like 6 months later, I had written my first novel. Took me a few rewrites to finally get that published. But anyway, now like 30, I'm writing book number 39 right now. So I guess she was right. And I write full time now. So who knew? The palm reader in New Orleans, she knew.
What has been your journey to get your book published?
That took forever. Definitely, it was a process. So when I finished the novel, I went to a writer's conference and met an agent, and she read the whole thing and said, "Yes, let's do it." It was written as a horror novel first. And then And then 9/11 happened and horror stopped selling so much. And paranormal romance started to come up. And I realized, well, there's a love story in this book. So I toned down the killing and brought up the loving. and Nightwalker was finally sold. That was my first book and my first series. And so anyway, it was a long process, lots of rewrites. I think I rewrote that book like 3 times before I finally got it sold. And I had already written 2.5 more books, which is my best recommendation for people out there who are writing, is write that next book. Don't just keep editing one forever, because once I finally sold that book, the publisher quickly bought up the other books and those were already written. So that was much better for me. So keep writing so that you've got them like in your drawer if you want to do traditional. I also do hybrid, so I do some on my own, but originally I went traditional because at the time that was how you did it. So
So what's the difference between doing hybrid and traditional for you? What are the challenges and benefits?
Right, that's a good question. So I still have one series with a publisher and then I do all the rest myself. And my reason for it is when you go with a traditional publisher, they pay all the upfront fees. So you don't pay for your cover or your editing or your formatting or any of that. They handle all of that, which is nice. But the drawback is you give up some of your control also. I have no control over price of those books or the cover. I get some say, but they pretty much do that. You get a lot of, edits that maybe I wouldn't have made, but the publisher has bought the rights to that book. So I'm going to make it the way they want it. So you give up those things but you don't have to pay the upfront costs. So I also do Patreon to help me cover for covers and editing upfront for my indie stuff.
So, I forgot my question. Oh my word. It really I opened my mouth and it was like, and forgot.
You need more smoothie.
Yes, I do. Give me one moment to try to think about it. It was about publishing. Oh, never mind. I'm going to move on.
Okay.
What do you think is, for you, was the key to success to having such a long writing career and being able to become full-time? I remember the question I was going to ask you. I'm going to just hold it. Continue.
Okay. So readers is the key, I think. I was lucky that when my book first came out, I had my publisher was also brand new and they were really pushing to get a core reader group, and so was I. So it was very mutually beneficial. I have a really great reader group on Facebook of readers. Many of them have been with me since book 1, so I'm super lucky. But I really think to have a long writing career, you really have, and if you want to write full time, it's really hard. You're selling widgets that you're only going to get a couple dollars for a piece. So you need lots of readers, and you also, need to be able to support yourself. So you need lots of income streams. So like I put things out in audio and doing Patreon and, so you try it. And my books are wide so that I get money from all the different retailers. So if you want to write full time, you need to write a lot, read a lot, and connect with readers so that they stay with you, like build a newsletter list, build a reader group, all that kind of, you need that community because you need people to talk about your book when they come out.
Exactly. So were there any times during your traditional publishing process that you were like, this is not how I thought it was going to go?
Oh, many times. Yeah. When I get really stressed out, sometimes my husband always walks by and says, welcome to your dream. But in my dream, I would only have to work on one book at a time, and it would be 2 books a year. And the reality of my dream is, like, this last week was really crazy because I'm writing 1 book in the Immortal Pirate series. And then my editor at the publisher sent me edits for the book that's going to come out first that I wrote last year. So then I had to switch gears and work on those edits. And today I was switching gears and getting back into the other book that I was writing. And that is really hard for me. My brain is like, ugh. And then my indie books that I write in first person, and the ones for the traditional publisher are in third. So every time I have to shift gears, my brain's like, I, no, wait, he, no, wait, you know, and so that's difficult for me. I guess the part when I'm like, I didn't think it would be like this, is probably that I'm editing one thing and trying to write another. In my dream, that was not part of the deal. I was just going to work on one thing. It was going to come out. I was going to promote it. And then I'm going to work on another thing, because I'll be promoting a book that I wrote months ago, and I may have written 2 books in between, and I have to remember, what was the name of those characters? Wait, what happens to them in that book? You know, so I have like cheat sheets. I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. I wrote this book, but I've got my little notes so I don't forget. So anyway, so that part is probably the most interesting. And when you do indie, you can put the book out right away. But when it's with a publisher, I turned it in last year and it's coming out in July. And then the one that I'm turning in this month won't come out till October. And by then I'll have written 2 more indie books in between. So that part with traditional, it's much slower. So, you know, you end up working on things at the same time with other things. And so it's a juggling act.
As I said to you guys when we first started, that, you know, you're probably going to hear my story again. So here's my story, because I am a narcissist of the group. So no, when she was saying about like you have to go back and remember what the characters are, like, how do you need cheat sheets for your own book? So when we get interviewed, sometimes people will literally ask to interview us for our first book. There are 17 books.
Right.
And then, you know, there's other series that we write as well. So when someone goes, so what happened? So what did you feel about this poem? We're sitting here with the book going, what page is that on? Do you remember?
Right. Did we write a poem?
Okay, I got it. They'll read the poem, and I'm like, which book was that? Oh yeah, I got it. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But at least I'm not the only one who does it. There are actual professionals.
No, I totally relate.
It's the same thing. It's so upsetting though. You're like, I should remember this book. I spent the most time with this book.
Right. I feel like though, when you're a writer, your brain, once you hit that ending, your brain goes, okay, download, and you're on to the next thing. Or at least I hope that's what's happening, because I can't remember. I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, I understand. I definitely understand. Although, like, I keep wishing I had my younger brain. I was like, I used to like almost memorize my stories. I like knew exactly what they would say sentence by sentence. But nowadays I don't. But then, you know, you make me feel better, because I don't, because I've been writing so much different stuff, you know, and you've been writing so much different, but you just can't keep them all in your head memorized. It's not the same.
Right. Well, and as you get older, your Google lady up here gets a lot slower. So like, she used to be instant, and now she's like, got a card catalog. Remember those from the library? And she's like, 1 minute. And then 15 minutes later, you're like, aha, it's this.
We used to have fiber optics, and now we have dial-up. Okay. So I saw that you have a podcast. Let me make sure. You do have a podcast, yeah?
I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So why start the podcast?
Actually, it's not mine. Readers Entertainment Radio owns the podcast, and I had been on Booklights a few times, and I get their newsletter, and I happened to open it, and Sheila English owns Readers Entertainment Radio, and she makes book trailers, Circle of Seven book trailers, and she had sent out a newsletter that they needed a new host for Booklights, and if you knew anybody, let her know. And so I emailed back and said, I might want to do it. And I have so much fun. I've been doing it now for a little over 2 years. And I talk to authors in, well, it's only fiction, but fiction authors in all genres. And it's been so much fun. And during quarantine, it's been nice to be able to connect with people. And you know, you're doing it, but yeah, every once in a while I get out of that writer cave and talk to somebody else is nice.
Nice. So what kind of people do you hire? What kind of podcast is Booklights? And then I'll do this question. I'm jumping way ahead of myself today.
That's okay. So it's on Blog Talk Radio. If you look up Readers Entertainment Radio, there's Book Lights, and it's weekly. I go on Mondays. And it is, the theme of it is shining a light on good books. And so we talk to authors, generally people who have a new book out, and it's all fiction. And they, we talk about the new book, the series, and then we just shoot the breeze, because the hope is that readers seem to like, and I do this too, but you look through your Kindle app and you're looking at all these covers and you're like, I don't know what I should start next. And then you look and you go, oh, I remember that guy used to be a magician, because we happen to talk about that on the show. And so they'll listen, they'll read the book. So we try to make it's very fun every week. I never know what's going to happen. One time I had a thriller author on, Peter James, and he was talking about his new book, and it had something to do with the Holy Grail. And I was like, what? And here I have prop. This book came out the same time with the Holy Grail. I'm like, what? We both had a Holy Grail book. So anyway, you never know what's going to happen on Book Lights, but it's very fun, and we have a great time every Monday, and then it gets distributed everywhere. So whatever podcasting service you'd like to listen to, you can find it.
Of course, I have to ask my normal narcissism question here. Have you thought about narcissist question?
I don't know.
So, anyway, have you thought about having two lovely pop culture poets on?
I have never had a pop culture author on, but I'd be happy to have you guys on. You should totally come, and you can both call in, because Blog Talk Radio, the way it works is I have a little call-in studio, and so you guys could both call in and both be on. It would be totally fun.
Oh my goodness, that would be fun. I didn't expect you to say yes. I thought you were gonna be like, yeah, no.
Well, it's not fiction. It's not fiction, but it's still, poetry is along that vein, right?
Yes, it is.
I think we could bend the rules for you guys. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you need a fiction book, I have a fiction book coming out in 5 days, 4 days.
What? You should totally come on. I think I have openings starting in June, I think. So come on.
Okay, I'll come on then. Yeah, that would be fun. I was not expecting that.
I would fancy video like this, so you can be in your jammies and you can totally have your smoothie and no one will know.
Oh, Jade is in the background now, so you recognize my smoothie has dropped out of frame and you have not seen it up again?
Well, I felt a little bit better, and I was like, everyone's going to miss my voice because I'm a narcissist.
Wait, no, you can't be.
No, I took your role. Ow, toothache still. Ow.
Yeah, she has a toothache. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
So, okay, where can everyone find you, the podcast, and read about your books?
My website is lisa-kessler.com. It's Kessler. And there's a link there for Book Lights. There's a link for all my books. My blog is on there. I also am a tarot card reader, and I have a YouTube channel for that, and that's on the website. And if you click Metaphysical Me, you can hear all about the woo-woo. I always tell people I don't just write paranormal, it's my life. I do a lot of paranormal things. But yeah, lisa-kessler.com.
All right, everyone, please go over to lisa.kessler.com. Catch up on some of your favorite books you're going to want to hear about on Book Lights. Get a new favorite books by reading Lisa Kessler's books. I think it's about time for me to wrap us up, which feels weird to say because it's only Jade to wrap us up. As you can see, my head's already turned. Like,
I could probably do about half the sentence.
Your ghost
about
co-host.
But since she has a toothache, I think I should be the bigger person and be like, I'm wrapping this up. So you can, you
can find out everything
that your latest are up to at www.andwethought.com. While you're there, go to the homepage because I'm doing this. I can finally say this. Go to the home page, click on the little blue box for the Ladies Tale podcast, and listen to professional actors read my TV script. I love it. Oh, there's also other people there, but not as important as the TV script. Listen to the script. And the other episodes if you want to. Okay, on the ladies tab, which is more important than everything I said before, on the ladies tab, there are, at the middle of the page, there are 3 charities that we proudly support. Please, we would ask for you to support them too. This is hard times for everyone, so you can imagine how hard it is for charities. I think that's just about it.
No,
Yeah,
and you can find out all of this.
Oh, you can find out all of this on www.andwethought.com.
For the
abbreviated one is andithoughtLadies.com. Remember that wisdom is all around you if
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love from Jade
and Winona.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.